So in some of my previous videos you may have seen this. Now this is a 1994 Traxxas Rustler, the very original Rustlers, and this is one of two we've actually got. So this is my one, and that was my brother's one, but he passed away coming up to 10 years ago. So Dad's taken over that one. He's put his own electronics in it. Actually, I'll bring it down so you can get a closer look, because it does still have the original 1994 body. Doesn't have the original Traxxas components, however. They are, well, the motors I know are up there somewhere. But yeah, this is one of two we currently have running. There's my dad's one, and this is my one. And a bit of a funny story about how we got hold of these was Frank from Anderson Racing Engines, who used to race radio control cars and also done radio control championships as well. He still has got his championship cars, by the way. I'm going to see if I can persuade him to get them running again and get back into racing, along with his son Ayrton. So yeah, we actually got hold of these from him. He actually just lives a short walk from where we are based. And one thing I want to do with this is just basically get this thing running again. I don't really want to go too crazy with this and put anything like brushless or something in it, because it's something about putting brushless in this and just doesn't feel right, considering it's coming up to about 30 years. So I've ordered most of the components, and I'm still waiting on a few bits to arrive, but I just thought I'd film the video and just do the process. But anyway, let's do the thing and put things into the 1994 Traxxas Rustler. Alright, so the first thing to do is get a motor put into it. Now, the motor this did originally have in it was this, and this was a Traxxas Stinger. It's a 540 motor, and it's 20 ton, and it's not actually not for a coming up to a 30-year-old motor. It's actually looking pretty good for itself. Now this I'm not actually going to put in, but the main reason being is because I just want to keep this as a little bit of a memorabilia, because it feels a bit like a relic. There's probably not many of these motors going about still in this condition, or there might be some motors in a better condition thinking about it. So this, we've actually got two up here. Both were in the Rustlers, but that I'm not going to. So instead, I'm going to be using this. Now this is a 21 ton motor, so only just a ton more than the Stingray motor that this had in it. So it's going to be pretty fast and speedy motor. I did actually have a Tamiya torque tune motor somewhere, which I believe is the same tons. However, that I want to save for something else, as well as the ESC, which I will get to in a bit. But if we just take this out of the packet, normally I would use scissors to cut it, but maybe it would have been a bit quicker. But anyway, so there we have it. So there's the motor which I'm going to be using, and the pinion gear, which I believe this should be the right one, but it got modelled up in a bunch of other pinion gears, and if it isn't the right one, then somebody will be punished. But it does, the bore is correct. Now, so I need to get this bit unscrewed, and actually there is one thing you may have noticed as well, is this. Now, that was actually my dad's work, and he put this bit of polycarbonate down to secure the battery packs. In fact, I haven't actually put a battery pack in this thing for a while. So I get one of my 5,000 milliamp hour NIMS. Fits in quite nice and snug. Actually, if I do put it run down, yeah, that should hold it in. So it does look like. Also, the antenna as well. That's really just for show only. The steering servo, actually, the one thing that's steering servo, it isn't an original Traxxas servo like this originally had. When we got these, it had a high-tech something 311 inside. I think you can just about see it in there if I just press to focus. Yeah. Alright, so with all that being said, let's get the motor on this thing.
O'Shaughnessy.
Okay, so after that we've got the motor fixed in, got the clutch adjusted as well, which was, but now the pinion gear which I put on the motor, the first one I showed wasn't the right one, however, so that was a 21 tooth, but this takes a 23 tooth one, and, it sounds okay, not exactly what I was expecting, but it doesn't sound like anything's shifting, doesn't sound like any teeth are skipping any other teeth on the gear, but yeah, so I guess that would be up on it resting on a can of paint. Now I opened this, turns out these screws here I took out for absolutely no reason whatsoever, twice, and that was because of the way the gear was. I thought that there was going to be something round this side to adjust it to stick it out a bit more, but turns out there wasn't. So I've kind of inverted the pinion gear on the motor shaft, which I wasn't originally going to do, or I was very doubtful to do with at the start. But then I saw some video tutorials about the clutch on the Traxxas Rustler, and I saw, so okay, this is how I've done it, and this is it on a newer version of the Rustler. So I thought, I just decided, you know what, if it's good enough for them, or if that's exactly how the pinion gear was on the Rustler when it was bought, then I guess it's good enough for this. So, can't really use that PAX because the wire's not long enough, so do a little quick test on this. Here we go. Ooh, that's... Yeah, you know what? I'm happy with that. Yeah, so brilliant. So the next plan of action, I won't do anything now because it's 11:30 at night. But whatever I do end up doing next, hopefully the ESC arrives tomorrow. But let's roll on to whatever happens then. Okay, so this is the ESC which I'm using. I got this on eBay for about £15. It is a Octay New Rain 60 amp brushed ESC. Now, I didn't really want one of the pins because of what people may see as petty reasons, but instead I actually found this, which I was a bit curious about. So instead of having pins, there are switches which you slide, and they're quite small, you don't actually notice them. So I've got this switch to NIMS and the forward brake reverse, which is what I intend to use with this. The plan is to get the Dean's connector cut off and put an XT60 on there, but before I do that, I want to get this hooked to a receiver, which will be a FlySky 3-channel one. I forget the model name. It is actually, isn't it? A GR3E, yeah. FlySky FSGR3E, so I'll just take that out of the packet so you can see it a bit better. So I'm currently using an FSI6, which is an air radio, but I do want to get a service radio from FlySky at some point. But anyway, yeah, this is the receiver. I'm going to get it hooked up to this, get that hooked up to the motor, and just see how it runs. Right, so what I've done is I've got a 7.2 volt NIM stick pack hooked on via crocodile clips, which isn't typically the wisest, but it'll do for now. Hooked on via Dean's connector to the ESC. I've got that plugged into the FlySky receiver, so just power this on. Most have made a noise, that's good, and turn the transmitter on. So, here we go. Wait for that. Okay, brilliant, so that works. Now I'll just get that motor connected and also just get the crocodile NIMS, well, the crocodile clips disconnected from this just to be safe. But yeah, so what I just need to do is put an XT60 in place of where the Dean's connector is on the ESC, because Dean's I hate them, I don't know, and just I'm a bit biased because I want to say these are easily for me the best connectors. And also the plan is to get this switch off, which, because I'm not really going to be using it anywhere near water or any thing where there's going to be liquidized environmental factors. But anyway, so what I'm just going to be doing, I'm just going to be putting a standard slide switch on, and the reason for that being is so that it easily mounts in there like that. And I've got a couple of M2 screws somewhere. So, all that being said, let's get the ESC sorted and also I got to get a scraper and just get all these bits out and just use mammoth tape, which I put somewhere down because this holds on stuff in very nicely. Anyway, let's get the ESC sorted and put into the Rustler. Alright, so after that taking a little bit longer than anticipated, mainly soldering at this time of year, I don't know if it's the tips on my soldering iron or the fact that it's so cold out here, but I did end up having to use flux, which I don't typically have to use while soldering because I use flux core, slow clear my throat, I use flux core solder, so not exactly the neatest, but you can just about see in there. I'm really happy with the way everything fits in, and if I just power it on, the transmitter turned on. Well, there we have it, it works! I'll just stop that for now. Now, we're currently using my FSI6 with this receiver. The controls are a little bit funny, so I really should invert or do some reversing on the transmitter, but because of the stuff I use this for, and also that's going to be very awkward to control with the way the stick is on there, because it's yeah, so it's, yeah, I think you get the idea of that. Anyway, so with that, I might take it out for a little test drive tomorrow, but something I do want to show off first. Okay, well, this is the body I'm going to be using, and as you may have already noticed, it is one from J Concepts. Now, I'm not using a Traxxas body for this. I did try and find a body that replicated the original Rustler, but the ones that were in other countries and postage was ridiculously expensive. So I decided to get one from J Concepts instead. Now, the reason why I'm not using a Traxxas one, I may have said this in the video, I may have recorded that in a couple of days, is because I want to get something that replicates the original colours. I'll just bring it back down here. So, actually I'll just take that one so you can see it better. So, these colours are what I'm trying to replicate. I have got, well, I know it's not going to look exactly like this, but it would look pretty close. Anyway, and the other reason why I haven't bought a Traxxas body is because of, there's a thing going around with Traxxas where their reputation seems to precede them recently, where you may have heard some of the lawsuits and the suing, but to give Okay, to give a basic idea of why Traxxas has been getting a bit of a reputation recently, is they have been suing third parties and small businesses for making aftermarket parts. And if you there's like a huge list of articles. If you put Traxxas sues in Google, then you will kind of get an idea. So anyway, so I haven't actually taken this out. So we have got some stickers. I did try searching for some Traxxas stickers, but they were quite pricey compared to, I don't know what they would have been in the past, but they were normally double the price of the what body stickers. So we've got the spoiler in here, which I will get that prepared. Nuts and bolts in there, looks to be M3. Little flyer there. Window masks. And we've got our stickers here. So all I need to do, I have got some scissors here on the side. I've also got some curved scissors as well for the wheel arches. Anyway, let's get this thing prepared for painting. Alright, so after that, I was worried I wasn't going to do the front holes neatly, but looks brilliant, and that's just without the paint. So I've already got the window mask, and I didn't think well, I did it literally just after the time lapse car, but I decided since it's not going to take me so long, I thought, oh well. So here we have the trimmings from the body. So I went a bit rough round just before I got to cut the actual edges, but I decided not to bother filing it as well because I just thought that the paint will probably mask it over. So I've got the bolts here, spoiler I've also cut out, and these are the paints which I will be using. So I decided not to use Tamiya paint because I don't feel that, compared to the cost per millimetre, they're not really great for value. So I've decided to, actually I have used this kind of paint before on some plastics, and with a bit of etching, but shouldn't need to etch this. Now you may notice that black isn't here. That was because I did have black Tamiya paint somewhere, but I have no idea where that's gone. I was only just going to use it just to paint this sort of line, but who knows, it might look better without it, and I've just dropped the nuts and bolts on the floor. So anyway, so what I'm just going to do is just put a single layer on the body, and instead of spraying different layers, I'm going to be applying this. So this is clear coat, and it's just basically a liqueur that you spray. It can be used on cars, but this particular clear coat can be used on plastic. So I'm going to spray a few layers of this instead of extra layers of paint. And it's a bit dark outside, but I should be able to get some light out there. Anyway, alright, so it is quite dark. I know I really should be doing this kind of stuff during the day, but realistically I want to get this thing over and done because I am itching to see how the turnout of this will be. So the spoiler, which can't quite, so there's the spoiler. So I'm going to paint that first with the blue, and whatever blue is left I'm going to spray around the back, then move on to the white, then the orange, and then the yellow. So anyway, let's get, also once I've done that, I'm going to leave it to dry just for a little bit, so it should be quick drying stuff. Then I'm going to try and spray a few layers of clear coat on, and with that, let the painting commence. Right, so it turns out that the orange and the yellow paint were gloss, whereas the white was matte, and as you can see the gloss is kind of, the gloss dripped about quite a lot, whereas the matte paint finished. But let's turn it over and see what the hell I've come up with. Actually, you know what? Considering, well, I didn't intend to have anywhere near as much blue there, but and there is a bit of a crack around the back there, but that was where I was running out of the blue paint. So also because I didn't quite anticipate, the wind literally just picked up as soon as I started painting. But you know what, I don't think that's too bad. It could be, in my eyes, a lot better, but it does replicate the original Traxxas colours. Now the next plan is to get the clear coat on, and I'm probably going to do about somewhere between 3 to 5 layers depending on, actually I'll do 5 to be safe, but let's get the clear coat on. Alright, so I didn't time lapse me putting any additional coats of clear coat on, but the results are interesting to say the least. Not quite how I thought it was going to turn out. I ended up, I think probably the biggest contribution was the wind picking up, and also the fact that 2 of these colours were actually gloss, whereas the white was matte. Yeah, the Tamiya paint was fine, but it's just when I used the colour it stuff, it started like coming out a bit more liquid. Right, so I can't really put it on the card just yet. I might take the protective film off, but I just need to put this in the airing cupboard to dry out first. Alright, so after leaving it in the airing cupboard to dry, voila. And also just for reference, here's, I'll just bring this down. This is the other Rustler that my dad got working, and I'll probably have to pull that out a little bit more, but the colours are very similar. Not quite how I wanted it, but we do technically have the Rustler colours. My dad actually kind of liked it, but I felt a bit indifferent to it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, the plan for this is get the spoiler screwed on. I've got the nuts and bolts still that came with it. Now the stickers, I thought that they were just pre-cut, but turns out you have to cut the scissors. You have to cut them with scissors. I'm not quite wide awake at this time, but yep, this, I just wish that, you know, in this day and age, and actually these stickers are from 2002, I've just noticed. The whole, the 2002, so this is a 21-year-old sticker sheet, which would explain why they're not pre-cut. And anyway, without dawdling, let's get the protective film off, and let's get the window stickers off, get the body screwed on, and see what stickers I can put on this thing. Alright, so, yeah, here we have the finished results, and I'm actually very happy with this. Wow. Now, as you can probably tell, I haven't really overdone it with these stickers. I do have plenty left over. I just kind of wanted something to indicate that this isn't an original Traxxas body, so I just threw a few J Concepts sticker. The rear view lights might seem a bit funny, might just be me, but despite the paint not going in the way that I was hoping it would, I'm amazed at the final turnout, and I just want to bring back down the other Rustler, so just do a bit of a comparison. And I've got to be careful not to make so much noise, because if I've got to work out how the hell I'm going to do this. I should probably have to put them on the floor. So there's my dad's one, and then there's my one. So yeah, that one my dad has already got working, and we've been talking about getting a new body for that one, because I don't really want it, because that's a classic Rustler body. But anyway, for comparison, amazing. Now, as for this, I was hoping to test it out later on at some point during this video, but because of the fact that it's literally ridiculous, stupid o'clock at night, and I have to get up early because I'm going away to my cousin's place for Christmas, and I'll be taking this with me. I don't know if Dad will be taking that with him. I'll be taking with me my Strada, I'll be taking with me, and my Rising Fighter. Not the Rising Fighter, the Plasma Edge. The Rising Fighter I was on the fence about, but I don't really have suitable batteries for that. I need some sub-C packs for that. But anyway, hopefully in next week's video, I'll be able to show off this running for the very first time since I put those new electronics in. So, signing off, and see you in next week's video.